I'm doing get underscore name and I'm passing this here. Okay, so now let me run this. So if you see, I got an error. Why I got an error? Because person object has no attribute underscore underscore name, because this underscore underscore name is, it's a private variable. And if you see, double leading underscore name angle, making it harder to access outside of the class. I cannot access outside of the class. So you might say, can I access inside of the class? So let's try. So def, let me create a any function name, temporary function. Okay, and then I'm using self as in keyword and using print inside class. Now I'm using here self dot underscore underscore name. Okay, now now I'm commenting this and I'm using person, which is the object of the class, dot temp. Okay, I'm not passing anything. Let's see if this works. You see, inside the class I got the name. Why I was able to access this variable? Because this was a protected one. So from inside function you can access it, but from outside function you cannot. So that's why it's a private variable. So remember, I'm using double underscore here. I'm not using single underscore. If it would have been a single underscore, it would have called protected variable. Okay, now let's see. This is just to look at the properties of this. Okay, now look at our another example. So here this is an example of protected variables. Protected variables. So now the same example which we discussed in the previous, I just copy pasted it. So now I have created another class, person class, and then an employee class. Okay, so if you remember from inheritance example, we can do like this, right? We can use the parent class name here. So what this will help us in creating a relationship between these two. So now this employee class will inherit features from this class. Okay. So this is my class. So now employee is my function, and person, employee has inherited properties from the person class, and I'm using this special you can say keyword, which is super. So super, what it will do, it will try to initiate or call this. Okay, so let me try to add print here. Person class constructor is called. Okay, I have added this, and then let me copy this and let me paste it here. So if this class constructor will be called, I will have this emp employee class constructor is called. Okay. So when I'm creating an employee object, so employee object I'm creating from employee class. So what will happen if I pass these values? These values will go here, and then this line will get executed. Once this line get executed, this constructor will get called. Once this constructor get called, the control will come here and this line will get executed. Okay, let me try to run and show you. See, person class constructor is called. So when I pass these values went here, this line got executed. When this line got executed, this particular function got called. Once this function got called, this line got executed. Okay, simple as we have seen in the inheritance example. Now if you see carefully here, I'm using underscore. These are protected variables. So if you go by protected variable definition, single leading underscore conventionally accessible within the class. So we can access this within the class and the subclass. We cannot access outside the class. Okay, so what is a subclass? Subclass is a child class. So let me try to access this with this employee. So this employee variable. Okay, I'm accessing employee dot underscore, and so I'm trying to access these variables, okay, underscore name, which is in the parent class. See, it's giving me, I can get the output. Why I'm able to get output? Because this is a subclass. But this is a subclass. So now you might say, okay, if I would have an external function like this, and if I want to access the variable, will I be able to access it? Employee, yeah, employee dot underscore name. Let's see what I will do. Let me do like this. Let me comment this, and employee dot okay, okay, employee underscore. I have to pass it first. Yeah, I have to. Okay. One. I have to pass it first. I have to use get underscore name one. Then I have to pass the employee. Yeah, employee here. Okay. Now what I'm doing, I'm passing this here, and I'm trying to access employee underscore name. So let's see if I can access this. Okay. Oh, but it's in. Was I able to? Yeah, I was able to access it. Get underscore name, because I used, yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, because so I was able to access it because I used the name of the what do you call it? 1 minute. Let me run this once again. Let me try to call it gender here. Oh, gender is a normal variable. It's not a protected one. Age. Yeah. You see, 34. So I was able to access it because even though it's an external function outside of the class, but because I'm using the same what do you called yeah, the employee, the variable of the child class, because this child class went here, and once this function became the part of the child class can access the protected variables, right? So because of that, if this would have been like this, and then if I try to access name, then oh, double underscore name, then let me, I would have got an error. Employee object has no attribute underscore name. Okay, so where is that? Yeah, so that's why this function, now because of this, this became a private variable. This function was not able to access it. Let me make it as a protected variable. And now, okay, because I deleted this, it is showing me an error. And now if I go here, I can access the private variable. Okay, even though a function within this class also can access it. So now the function is within this class, so now I can call it in this way. I do not have to call like this. I can call it like this: employee dot get name one. Yeah, and here it should be self. Yeah, so I can easily, because it's a child class. So if I, yeah, because it's a child class, and if I where is, yeah, I have to use self here. If I want to make it part of this child class, now it became an instance method. But if I do like this, now self is not required. I have to use person and employee dot name, and then I have to use the previous method is what? get underscore name 1, and here I have to pass employee. I got the output because this employee got here, and this, because this object, I mean this object was a part of this subclass, so it was able to access the protected variables. If this would not have been the case, we would not have been able to uh, get the values. Let me try to do something more without using, let's try one more function without using the employee, because it's not a public variable, right? So get name, let's say it's 22, get name 22. Now this does not take anything, but I need to return print of this. Okay. This is an external function, and I'm trying to access this variable, which is protected variable. Okay. So let's see if I'm able to access it or not. I'm commenting this. I have to call this function get name 22, and it's not taking anything. Okay. Which value it's trying to take? Oh, I took employee. Okay, okay, okay. That's why, because if I take employee, it becomes the part of the subclass, right? That's why I was able to access it. Okay. So do I have an okay. So does anyone, do you have any doubts so far? Uh, or we can move forward.
Yeah, protected I have still.
Sorry.
Protected member.
Yeah, so I mean protected members are nothing but they are by default accessible between class and subclass, and if you use the object of the subclass also, you can access those variables, but you should not be able to, I mean by default we are not using double underscore, so we are not able to access it from outside. Right now we do not have an double underscore. Let's try to create a double underscore variable here. Okay. And let's see if now if I try to access it, underscore underscore gender, I cannot access it because it's now it became a private variable. Okay. Yeah, any other doubt?
It's a protected now. So protected can access subclass.
Sorry, protected can,
Ge- Gender is a double underscore, so it's a protected member.
no, so if it's a double, and so right now I made it single underscore. If it's a double underscore, right, so it's a private. If it's single underscore, it's protected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Single.
Yeah, single and double. So this is double with init, and this is single. Okay, okay. Okay, let's take now let's try to understand. There is something called as getters and setters. So in Python, uh, in uh, in Python, getter methods are used to access the attributes data, and while the setter methods are used to modify the attributes of the object. So getter is retrieve the value of the attribute, and setter is set the value or modify the value of an attribute. Okay. So these are very simple function. Let's check it or understand.
Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed our session at LWP Labs. For more videos like this, you can subscribe to our channel and contact the number for live classes. The future is now with AI.